What is up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. It's Queera and this is Ask Queera. Yeah. If you are new to my channel, this is a video series I like to do where basically I just give advice to queers and questioning folks. I am not, an expert, but I am Queera. Basically, I just give my advice based on my own experiences and stuff like that. If you want to take a look at the rest of the Ask Queera series, I will link that whole playlist down below. To get these questions, I asked you guys on Instagram to send them in. And if you want to participate in the next video like this, go follow me on Instagram, and that is my TikTok. And my partner and I have a Patreon that we just created where basically we put exclusive content on there that we don't normally share to the public. So that includes like full-length YouTube videos, short little TikToks, and even live streams. This Ask Queera is all about queer relationships. Grab a cup of tea or a coffee, grab your favorite snack, grab a blanket, and buckle up because this is gonna be a long video. First question, what to do when your girlfriend is ace and you're not? I have a semi-high sex drive. I actually had a friend that was in a relationship with an asexual person, and there were certain things that she was comfortable doing that they weren't like super sexual acts, but they were still like kind of intimate acts. I would have a conversation with your partner and find out like what her boundaries are. I feel like you need to really talk about boundaries and what she is comfortable doing with you and what she wants to do with you, because obviously you don't want to like force her, like don't force her to do anything. Like there are a lot of ways to connect with your significant other without having sex. You just need to find those things. I feel like you gotta have those conversations with your girlfriend. I know it might be hard, I know it might be difficult, I know it might be awkward, but you gotta have them in order to have a fulfilling and healthy relationship. Next question, is it okay if I still feel attracted to other people when I'm in a relationship? I'm not poly. Yes, you are human, right? It's just a human thing, so like don't feel guilty if you do, but obviously like you are with your partner for a reason, and like yeah, there are a lot of attractive people in the world. Like that is something that everyone knows, it's common knowledge, but it doesn't mean that you have to act upon every attraction, and nor would you want to, because if you're in like a loving relationship, why do you need to, right? If you're not poly. That's definitely normal, you're good, don't worry, don't feel guilty, you're not cheating. Ooh, this is a good one. How do you know if you love the person or just the way they treat you? That's a hefty question, and I feel like a lot of people probably find this hard to discern. Maybe something you could ask yourself is like, would you like this person equally if it was someone else and they were treating you the exact same way? I think there are definitely some things you can reflect on. Like, are you only with this person because of how they treat you? Or do you genuinely really love to be around them and love their personality and love who they are as a person? Or is it just something that you just want to feel loved and you want to kind of like fill a void? There's also a thing called infatuation where like you think you love someone, but it isn't really just love. You're kind of just in love with the idea of them. I've definitely experienced this, like you're in love with like what they represent, but you don't actually love who they truly are as a person. Or is it just a matter of filling a void, being in a relationship just for the sake of it? Next question, should I keep in contact with my ex? We had a friends with benefits for a little while after, and it's faded out now. Is this relationship, no matter if it's an ex, no matter if it's a friend or a partner, like is this relationship benefiting my life? Is this relationship positive? Is it helping me grow? Is it helping me learn? Is it helping me expand as a human being? And if the answer is no, then there is really no reason to keep in touch with this person, and you don't have to. Like just because you have a relationship with someone for a little while and it was really intense for the time that you were in a relationship with them, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay friends with them because you had that moment together. Life ebbs and flows like that, like people come in and out of your life, but it doesn't mean that that relationship shouldn't have happened, because I believe that everything happens for some sort of reason, if not to help you grow and learn. Even if it was a negative experience, there's always something that you got out of it or learned or you got stronger from it. That was a long-winded answer, but I think if it's naturally faded out, that's probably a good thing, and it's probably what you were meant to do. What are good ways to support my partner coming out as non-binary and going through a gender crisis? Relatable. Just be there for them when they need to talk, and take initiative to ask questions like, what are your pronouns for the day? And it's okay even if you don't know what they are. Like, I will support you nonetheless, even though we may have preferences of, you know, maybe you like someone's hair a certain way, or maybe you like someone to dress a certain way. Don't say that, because you want to look out for them and you don't want to be selfish and like sway them in a way, like kind of manipulate them in a way just for your own benefit. Tell them that you love them no matter how they want to dress, how they want to identify, how they want to cut their hair, what pronouns they want to use. Be very open and willing to learn about what they're going through. I think that's really important. Asking questions is not a bad thing, and be a good listener. I don't know if your partner is this way, but with gender fluid people like like me, it's so hard because you feel like your gender expression is always shifting, your preferred pronouns are always shifting, like how you want to be perceived in the world is always shifting. So like, it can sometimes be scary if you're the partner of that person and you don't know what they're experiencing, because you don't want to do the wrong thing, you know, like you're scared to like say the wrong pronoun, you're scared to mess up. But like, don't be scared to mess up, because sometimes it's inevitable and you're not expected to be perfect in every moment. You got pee-pee? As long as you show an effort that you're working on it and that you care about this person, then that's the important thing. What do I do when my girlfriend always goes down on me but never lets me go down on her? This could definitely just be a personal preference thing, or this could also be an insecurity thing. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with other people going down on them because maybe they're insecure of what they look like, what they smell like, what they taste like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I relate to this, I know. It very likely doesn't have to do with you. It probably just has to do with something that they're insecure about, or they just simply don't want to do that. And that's okay. Like, not everyone does. Not everyone does. Seriously, like, not everyone's the same. We don't all like oral. We don't all like penetration. We don't all like this or that. Oh my God, Willow. What? Oh my God, Willow is crazy right now. Oh my God. My cat is taking a grand old shit. Ooh, this is a really good one. Next question. I don't want to burden my girlfriend with my mental health anymore. Should I break up with her? Not for this sole reason, no. I don't think that you should feel forced to do that, because blah, 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 blah. If you only tell your girlfriend about what you're going through, I think maybe it might be time to tell a therapist or tell a family member that'll listen and understand. Maybe put less of the pressure on her to always be the receiver of that information. My cat's pooping. Oh God, Willow, that's bad. To answer your question, I don't think you need to break up with her because of that. I really, really feel you on this. And there's nothing wrong with you, okay? I just want you to know that. You're going through a hard time, and you are more than your mental health struggles. You're more than your mental illnesses. These are all really heavy questions, and my cat just did a stink bomb in her litter box and is screaming her head off. So I am so sorry. How to open up to a relationship after the last one left some trauma. Before going into a new relationship, I would just say to try and heal that trauma as best as you can before continuing on, because again, like, you don't want to bring shit and baggage from your past relationship into your future relationship. You want to really get back to yourself, especially if that partner was abusive. You want to get back to a place of self-love, or just a place of like self-acceptance, because yeah, it can definitely be hard to move on to another relationship without taking that stuff with you, because you're scared and you're guarded and you're trying to protect your heart, and that's totally normal. Like, that is a very normal thing, and a lot of people experience that, if not everyone, to some degree. If you need to seek therapy or counseling or talking to someone, then do that before you start a new relationship. Also remember that that relationship was that relationship, and that is in the past now. And it doesn't mean that all your future partners are gonna be like that. It was just a one-off situation, and it happened to teach you something. And also I want you to realize that the things that your ex-partner might have done to you don't reflect who you are as a person, and they were likely coming from a place of their own hurt and their own baggage and trauma, and their way of dealing with it was taking it out on you. If that's what happened, I don't know if that's what happened, but I'm just assuming. That has nothing to do with your worth. I want you to know that you are 100% worthy of being with someone that treats you like gold. Try to heal and work on yourself as much as you can, and take the good things out of that relationship and what it can teach you and what you can learn from it. What to do when your partner is in a depressive episode and it's long distance. This is really hard because personally, I always like to be physically there for someone who is going through something like that. Let them know that you are always gonna have your phone on. You are always gonna be here to talk. But in addition to that, try to do some fun virtual dates if you can. Like maybe surprise them with getting a meal delivered to their door, and maybe you can have a meal delivered to your door, and you can have like a virtual date and maybe watch a movie together or play a game over FaceTime. Try and get them to do fun things with you, because that is really positive and will help them, you know, get out of it for at least an hour or 2 hours, and help them realize that like life isn't always gonna be this shitty. Visit them as much as you can in person if you can do that. And also maybe encourage them to, again, seek a counselor or a therapist. I'm always gonna say that, and I'm always gonna recommend that, because they are professionals and they are trained in how the mind works. If I had the money and if I was like dating someone that was long distance and they were going through a depressive episode and maybe they can't afford therapy, like maybe as a gift, I would buy them a therapy session if they can't afford it. Something else I found that really helps with this is just letting your partner vent to you and express all the emotions that they need to express, and listening without trying to fix them or without trying to offer up a solution right away, and just acknowledging their pain. That is super impactful. Just being like, I hear you, that is shitty, that is tough, and you know, like acknowledging their pain and not trying to just push it under the rug, you know? Next question, I just got in my first relationship with a girl and I'm scared of the sexual part. How do I feel more confident? It's okay to not feel confident. You don't have to feel confident. You do not have to be a perfect sexual beast in this relationship. It's okay to even tell your partner that you're scared too, and that, you know, you don't know how to approach it. And who knows, they might even feel the same way. Like it could be their first sexual experience too, or even if it's not, like you're a new person, so they might be nervous too. Start slow. You don't have to rush into things right away. Like you can literally just start with like making out. And I feel like that gets you in the groove of things. And then eventually you can start with other things, but just start slow, take it easy, you know? You don't have to go crazy right away, especially if it's your first time. And don't be afraid to tell your partner how you're feeling too. You don't have to pretend like you're this sex master, you know? Like everyone doesn't know what to do at some point. So once you're past this point, you're gonna feel so much more confident once you've had some experiences. How should I introduce my partner to my parents if they aren't accepting of it? Well, you could honestly introduce them as a friend at first. You don't even have to say you're romantically involved. You can just say like, this is my best friend, you know? Because it is your best friend, right? And that's if you just don't want to go into that conversation with your parents, because I know it can be hard and it can be heartbreaking to hear your parents being like, no, I'm not gonna accept your relationship. Like, I'm not gonna be happy for you. Like, that sucks. That's hard. You don't have to tell them. You honestly don't. Sometimes it's better if they don't know. Like when I had certain, you know, crushes or certain types of relationships and my mom was still not accepting of it, like I just chose to open up to my best friends about it instead. And like, at least I had someone to open up to about it. When the person would come over, I'd just be like, oh yeah, this is just my friend, whatever. How are they gonna know the difference, you know? I have a crush, WLW. We both recently came out as lesbian. I think she likes me, but she just got out of a relationship with a guy and hasn't dated any women. Is there any way to tell if she's on the rebound or if she actually likes me? Thanks. Good question. Good question. This is a really fucking hard question. One thing I do want to say is just because she just broke up with someone, it doesn't mean that you're automatically a rebound. Sometimes relationships come in hot, like mine and Lauren's. There doesn't have to be a specific amount of time after you finish dating someone to get into a new relationship. It all just depends on if they've gotten over their ex or not, and if they're ready to be in a new relationship. I feel like the only way to know is to really talk to her and get to know what her true intentions are, what her true feelings are. Does she just want you for sex? Does she just want you to fill a void? Or is she actually genuinely interested in getting to know who you are? Honestly, that's all I got for that one. That's a tricky one though. How do you get to a point where you feel comfortable enough with who you are first? I'm assuming you mean like first before a relationship. How do you know if you're ready to be in a relationship? Good question. Good question. The only thing that's helped me with this is literally like therapy, mindset work. So reading books about mindset and mental health, self-care and self-love practices, meditation. Are you at a place where you are completely fine being single and you don't really care if you are in a relationship? Like you like one, but like you are happy enough being single? I feel like that's the question, is are you happy being with yourself, being single? Do you rely on a relationship to feel a sense of worth? Because if so, then I think you might need to work on yourself a little bit more, because you don't want to have to rely on someone else to make you feel confident and worthy and satisfied. Like you want to get to that place first. Next question, how to get over my ex. I still miss them so much and it's been months. Time heals. Time is the only thing that really truly heals. And there isn't an amount of time for everyone that's the same for everyone. That's like, oh, once you reach this benchmark, then you need to be over your ex, or then that's when you're gonna be over your ex. It's kind of just a natural process that you have to wait out. If you truly wanna get over them, I think you need space and distance. I don't think you should still be talking to them, because you can't get over someone if you're still talking to them. And don't stalk them on social media. Block their number, honestly. Block them on social media if that's what's gonna help you in your healing process. Focus on spending time with your friends and family and people who lift you up. Find people who truly love you and you enjoy spending time with, so that you don't feel like you can only have fun when you're with this person, like your ex. But the thing that truly heals is time. Unfortunately, it's probably not what you want to hear, but it's true. If you are into a guy but you're bi and you still want to show pride, but you don't want him to think you don't like him, what do you do? So you can absolutely still be, you know, show pride, be proud of your identity, go to pride. That doesn't have to mean that you're not into your boyfriend or this guy. I don't know if he's your boyfriend. If he makes you feel like you can't express your pride, then that's a toxic trait. That's his insecurities being projected onto you. You expressing your pride and your identity does not contradict being into him. And don't let him make you feel that way, because that's not healthy. And no one should be like,
oh, you can't talk about being bisexual when you're with me because that's gonna hurt my little ego.
I've never been on a first date in general and was wondering what to talk about. I feel like you gotta find your common interests, things that you both like doing. And if you can't find those yet, maybe talk about, do you go to the same school? Maybe you can talk about your experiences at your school or your experiences in your town or your country. You could start by asking them like what they like to do on their free time, what are their hobbies. Just ask a lot of questions. People like when you ask questions about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. Asking questions is like such a turn on. on first dates because you want to feel like that person's interested in you. So hopefully they ask you a lot of questions back, and they should. And if they don't, then I don't know about that. I hate when people like will only talk about themselves and not ask you questions. So make sure it's reciprocated. How to get over a person you were in a toxic relationship with. Love you so much. I love you too. You need to keep reminding yourself of why you guys broke up and why they are not benefiting your life and why they were actually making your life worse. And I know that it's, you know, you want to remember the good times, but sometimes remembering the good times, if they were a toxic partner, will set you back. Don't lose sight of why that relationship ended. And just because there were good times, it doesn't mean you have to revisit that relationship. Another thing is you could talk to your friends about it, and once your friends know about those things that that person might have done to you, they will hopefully not let you get back with him. They will hold you accountable in case you were like, maybe I do want to go back to him. But again, like I said, getting over exes, like the best remedy is time. My girlfriend lives 2 hours away from me in Toronto. Hey, what's up? And sometimes she doesn't answer her messages for weeks at a time. We've talked about it, but it's hardly changed. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose her. I'm sorry to tell you, but that is a major red flag. It sounds like she's either really busy and maybe she's slowly pulling away, but just doesn't know how to tell you. Because weeks at a time, that's a lot. Days at a time, it could just be that she's busy. But she doesn't respond in weeks, that's not healthy. That's not okay. That probably makes you feel shitty. It would make me feel absolutely shitty. So I know you don't want to lose her, but staying with her will make you feel more shitty. Especially if you've talked about it and she hasn't changed. It just kind of sounds like she is off doing her own thing and like doesn't care about you, and you don't deserve that. So I would really rethink that relationship. Sorry, boo boo. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm in my first WLW relationship and both of us are scared the other is gonna leave. How do you get past that? So it sounds like you both have abandonment issues. It's okay, cause same. No, no, I'm serious. I feel like you need to build that trust with each other. It sounds like you both have the same sort of anxiety and the same sort of like past trauma possibly. This could be a really cool opportunity to talk about your feelings and talk about why you might have those fears. If someone has done this to you, like left you, and you might have abandonment issues from like the past, just remember that like the past is the past and it can stay there, and it doesn't mean that the same thing is gonna happen in your current relationship, but you definitely wanna work through that because you don't wanna constantly be in fear that the other person is gonna leave you. Like there needs to be a bond of trust formed there so that you don't feel like that all the time. That is not a good way to feel, honey. It's really not. That is a feeling that does not need to stay forever, but you just need to work on it. You need to be conscious of it, and you need to stop yourself when you start feeling that and think about, oh, is this just coming from a past experience that has nothing to do with my current reality? Is this fear benefiting me in any way? Is this helping me in any way? You can also work on that with a therapist. Therapists are great for everything. ED trigger warning. When people ask you out on dates, they always want to go to a restaurant. And for someone who is recovering from an eating disorder, this is hard, especially when I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. No, I totally feel you. Eating when you're nervous, coupled with that does not sound like a great first date experience. Why don't you initiate a place where you can go that doesn't involve eating? So you don't need to worry about that. Why don't you go to a museum or go to a park, go for a walk, go for a hike. You could even just go for a coffee. I feel like a coffee date's a really good first date. And if you don't like drinking coffee, maybe have a tea. You can go to a board game cafe. I love those. And if they say a restaurant, maybe you could be like, I don't want to go to a restaurant because it's not in the budget for me right now. Or, you know, I have other things that I need to spend my money on. There you go. Like, I feel like there's a lot of ways to deflect that. You could even be like, oh, I'm busy in the evenings. Let's do something in the morning, or let's do something in the afternoon. And then you recommend a place where you want to go. Oof, this is another good one. Do you think you always need to click immediately with the person to hope for a good relationship? This is just my opinion. You could have a different opinion and that's okay. But personally, if I don't click immediately with someone, I don't want to spend my time pursuing that. Because I always trust my gut instinct, and I know that like my gut feeling, my initial reaction is usually right. Even once you get past like the first impressions phase, like first impressions can be misleading. But once you actually get to know that person, then I feel like you can get a good sense of like how well you get along, your chemistry. But you definitely want to have that chemistry. You definitely need to be able to click with that person if you want to have a good relationship. That's my opinion. I'm gonna answer a few more because I feel like this is a very long video. I can even do a part 2 if you guys like this, because I have way more questions. Do you have any advice on how to open up emotionally to someone when you just started dating? You can definitely ease into this. There are a lot of things that you don't need to lead with, like your family traumas. You definitely don't want to lay out all your cards on the table right away. If the other person is opening up emotionally, I feel like that's a good indication that like I would feel safe opening up to this person emotionally. Like I feel like there needs to be a two-way street going on. You can definitely like start with more recent things that are going on, some lighter things, but just make sure that they also open up the same amount to you. Do you ever stop getting nervous around the person you like? Yes and no. You'll get over that nervousness once you become comfortable around that person. But even so, there's moments when you might still get nervous. And that nervousness is a really beautiful thing. I definitely get nervous to see my partner if I'm like going away for 2 weeks to film a movie or something and then I come back. I definitely get nervous. I definitely get nervous if like we're going on a cute date. But in general, like the initial like scary nervous part, that will probably go away naturally. Last question. Advice on being harassed because you're out with your significant other, like kissing or hugging. This is, yeah, I can totally relate to this. My partner and I have gotten harassed on multiple occasions out on the street just for being queer in public, so I totally get you. And I've had multiple ways of dealing with this. Usually it's just a matter of ignoring that person because you don't want to egg them on too much because who knows, they could be dangerous. Like you never know what people are up to sometimes, and I know it hurts, but sometimes I will say something back or I'll give them a dirty look. One time, like this guy yelled dykes at us and I was like, yeah, what about it? What about it, bro? If people are harassing you, they're very likely hurting. And so that comes from a place of them being miserable. I know it's so hard not to let that affect you, but just realize that that is their own baggage. That is their own shit. Has nothing to do with you. You just happen to be walking by and there's somehow triggered from whatever they saw you doing. If you feel like you're in a secluded place, if it's at night, I would get to safety. I would not respond to them. Probably my best advice is to just ignore them. If you feel like you're in danger, get out your phone. Put someone on the phone, get them on video, get them on voice record, walk into an establishment or a restaurant or a cafe nearby, get the fuck away from them. This was fun. This was, you know what? This was a challenge for me. Like, I really had to stop and think about some of these things, but I hope that something I said helped at least one of you. I hope that I made sense. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please let me know if you did. Because now I'm like, did I even say anything beneficial in this video? Do I even know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I don't know. I might not. I genuinely might not. Thank you so much for feeling comfortable enough to talk to me about these things. I know a lot of these things are really hard to open up about, and thank you for trusting me with that. I want to send all the positive vibes, all the love out to you right now. There is a lot of shit going on in the world. There is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of sadness going on in the world, and we are all feeling it. We are all feeling it, honey. Even the happiest of the happy are still feeling it because we are all one universal energy. So just know that you're not alone in whatever you're going through. There is someone out there that understands you. I am here for you, boo.
I am here for you. I love you. You are valid. Everything you're feeling is valid.
These are just my wrapping up thoughts. Reach out, talk to someone, tell people how you're feeling, communicate, be open, be honest, be genuine, be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. So much beautiful magic happens in relationships when you're able to be vulnerable with that person and they are treating that vulnerability with respect and kindness. That's it. That's all I got. Here's a hug. I will see you in my next video. Mwah.